Hello and welcome to another episode of Battlefield 6 Weapons Builds. In today's build, we will be talking about the first carbine you unlock from the challenge, which is called the QBZ-192. Now, when we compare this thing to other carbines in the category, of course, the M4 comes out on top as far as most of its stats, but I will admit this QBZ kind of AK variant, at least that's what it feels like. It says East Asian origin, so I don't know what this thing is in real life. This thing comes off feeling pretty strong, and I have to admit, once you kind of get into it and kind of get a couple attachments for it, it feels pretty good. Now, I will start off with the barrel by saying that this gun, more than anything, is really short on the amount of actual attachments you get, but most of these can be unlocked before you hit Mastery 15 with it. Just the suppressor itself is unlocked at, I believe, level 14 Mastery, so we're just going to choose that because even after a couple games, you're probably going to hit 14 Mastery, and it shouldn't be too hard. As far as our barrel, we are of course going to choose the extended because we want that extra bullet velocity. And then when we move into our grips, I found that the 6H64 is of course the best one in the case of this, just because it gives us the best precision and control. But if you want to run some of these stubbies that you unlock later, I think that is worth doing so if you see fit. I think most of the later ones are okay, like the foldable stubby seems okay, but I think the 6H64 is going to give you the best bang for your buck for 25, of course. When we talk about our next aspect, of course, we are going to talk about the mags, and more than likely, you're just going to be running the 30 round fast mag because you're going to be out of points. If you want to run the 40, by all means, or the 36, but I would not go higher than the 36 personally, as it doesn't, I don't think it's worth it to get that 5 extra rounds for the cost. As far as our bullets, we're going to go to lightweight so we get that extra ADS. And then as far as our sights, we are going to aim for something 1.75 or above. Now, like I said, with the attachments, this gun has the kind of added bonus of unlocking the thermal super early. I want to say you unlock it before Mastery 10. So if you want to be a thermal kind of run-in person, by all means run it. I will say with the suppressor and kind of single tapping, it does feel pretty good to run thermal in the most toxic way possible. And of course, our lasers, we're going to pick either the green or red if you want to, or if you want to put the points into something else, by all means. Now, when we actually see this thing in action, I will admit this gun at first comes off kind of rough because you just really starts with just a simplistic like 1.52 times scope on it. But like I said, the attachments that you actually get, like including pretty much everything that I have equipped right now, you get most of that before Mastery level 15. So you really don't have to put that many hours into this gun to get most of the good attachments. I will admit, when you do unlock the suppressor at 14, this gun really does kind of, for some reason, just feel a lot better. There's just something about a suppressed carbine that kind of really feeds into the idea that we are going to be killing people close range, and it's very efficient at doing so. And I will say it's best used from what I've seen, of course. And I have this pretty insane clip here that's about 2 minutes long ish. This gun, from a mid range perspective, let's say 15 to 30 meters, is pretty disgusting, especially once you unlock the suppressor because people probably aren't going to be seeing your icon on the map. You can shred pretty good. The first 5 6 shots are always going to hit right on center of your dot. And I have to admit, this gun, like I said, it felt pretty rough in the beginning, but once you actually get a couple points into it and get some attachments, this thing I think is going to be the favorite for a lot of people. I've died to this thing quite a bit. This has been a gun that I've died to a ton. Usually when I do my builds, I kind of compare it like how people are using it. This gun just really feels like the kind of perfect mix between just like the kind of close quarters domination of the M4 from a carbine perspective, and really it's just kind of like an assault rifle. It does really feel good from mid range, and I think most guns from a mid range perspective are honestly gonna lose out to this thing, I found. Especially in kind of these open spaces. Close quarters, it can be a little rough just because, like I said, you're gonna lose out to things like the M4, A1, and you're probably gonna lose out to most SMGs. But if you get the first shot, or maybe they just suck, you can probably kill a good amount of people close range as well. This clip, I think, really reiterates how this gun should be used. I pretty much strictly ran it as a kind of mid-tier gun once I unlocked the suppressor, just for the fact that, like I said, it really just feel good. And from a, we rate most of our guns, or I rate most of my guns from a perspective of like, is it good when you tap it? And this gun feels really good when you tap it. I will admit, you can run it single fire if you want. I think it could probably be a pretty serviceable DMR. But like I said, I myself personally am running this thing as more of a mid-range kind of carbine. Kind of something that's in between the M4A1 and some of the DMRs that are in the game, or some of the assault rifles that kind of pack a punch from a distance. But honestly, that really is about all I have for this gun. This gun is what you unlock from one of the first challenges. Well, the Carbine challenges that is, which I think is related to the Engineer class, if I'm not mistaken, or I think it's just a Carbine class in general. But when you unlock this gun, I would say to give it a try. This gun feels very clean. It looks really cool. Just feels like something, because I think it's an AN94. That's what just came to me. I think it's an AN94. I think it's based on the AN94. But like I said, I've been someone that used the AN94 in the past and past Battlefield titles, and honestly, this gun feels pretty much the exact same as it. But like I said, it eats when you need it to eat from most ranges below 30 meters, and you can even kind of stretch it a little bit farther if you feel like doing so. But as always, that's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm not going to waste y'all's time. I will admit there are quite a few clips for this gun that I think, like, I was kind of struggling with it at first, but once I unlocked that suppressor, this thing really started to hum. And there's quite a few clips in here, probably the last 2 minutes, that I think y'all are really going to enjoy. But as always, I'm not going to force y'all to be here. So let's get right to the ending. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, good rest of your month, and a good rest of your year. This has been another Battlefield 6 weapons guide. We are churning these bad boys out. This one should be posted on Saturday morning. So I will be back Sunday to post more. But as always, like I said, hope you have a good rest of your day, good rest of your month, and a good rest of your year. And I love all the sort of support I've been getting from these videos, and I really hope y'all enjoy them and are enjoying the game as much as I am. But as always, I am out. Love you all, mean it, and have a good rest of your day, night, or wherever you are in the world.